Hey, what's up guys and gals? My name is Rick9G. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to be looking at the Munsters. Now, if you're new to the channel, I do want to let you know that I am a fan of a lot of TV shows and classic movies, including I Love Lucy, Gilligan's Island, and now we're looking at the Munsters. So go ahead and browse my channel. There may be so many things that you may enjoy and find. Today we're going to be looking at a few facts and little known information about the TV show The Munsters. Now, it's one of the classics of the 1960s, the show The Munsters, of course, starring Fred Gwynne, Al Lewis, Yvonne DiCarlo, Butch Patrick. We have Beverly Owen, as well as Pat Priest, who both played the same character. We're going to get into some very interesting tidbits. So sit back, relax, and let's get right to it. Now let's begin by starting with Fred Gwynne and Al Lewis. Of course, Fred Gwynne played Herman Munster and Al Lewis played Grandpa. Now, if you really notice, they're a really strong comedic duo. Now that's not accidental, because they had a few years of practice before the Munsters. They co-starred as officers Francis Muldoon and Leo Schnauzer on the hit sitcom Car 54, Where Are You? This aired from 1961 to 1963. The two remained close friends long after The Munsters was canceled. I love things like that because I really like to see where actors are not only friendly on camera but also off camera. Now, a big staple of the show, of course, is the wife of Herman Munster, Lily Munster. Now, you may not know that according to the original unaired pilot, she was not Lily, but Phoebe. She was also played by a different actress in this pilot. Her name was Joan Marshall. But when the show was picked up as a series, the brass up there in CBS worried that Marshall's look on screen was too similar to Carolyn Jones, who played Morticia Addams on a rival network ABC show called The Addams Family. So producers were asked to think about recasting the role, and they did. They came up with a new actress, of course, Yvonne DiCarlo, and a new name for the character, Lily. Now, in case you didn't know, Universal Studios owned Universal Television, which in turn owned the Munsters. Classic horror monsters like Dracula, the Wolfman, Frankenstein monster were all owned by Universal Studios. The studio had been running the classic horror films since the 1950s and before, and they found that audiences really wanted to see more of these monsters, and so they put a twist into it, and they decided to pitch their idea to CBS executives, knowing that they had one advantage, and that's the ability to use these monster characters without paying royalty fees. So this is why the Munsters regularly top the Addams Family in the ratings, mainly because of the instantly identifiable characters of Dracula, the Bride of Frankenstein, Frankenstein's monster, the Wolfman, and so on. Pretty cool. Now, this was really surprising when I found out. That's that Kenneth Strickfaden was the main special effects technician on the Munsters. He built Grandpa Munster's laboratory as well as the sets of the 1931 film Frankenstein. After that Frankenstein film, he became a special effects expert and created designs for more than 100 films. So if you look at the Munsters laboratory, some of the very same props from the original Dr. Frankenstein's lab were used in the Munsters. Now that's pretty interesting because of course Herman Munster is based on the Frankenstein character, and well, it brings that authenticity to the show. Now, Pat Priest was the daughter of the Treasurer of the United States, Ivy Baker Priest. She was naturally blonde, and she was also the same height and had the exact same measurements as Beverly Owen. Now, Beverly Owen was the original actress who played Marilyn. So this was really beneficial for the show because all the existing Marilyn costumes and accessories fit her perfectly, so there would be no need to spend money on a replacement wardrobe once they hired her. And if you have side-by-side pictures of both actresses, you can see how similar they look to each other. Most people who are huge fans of the show never even knew the switch happened after Beverly Owens left after only about 13 episodes. Now, you would often hear Fred Gwynne say and think about his time on the Munsters set, and he said this was one of his favorite characters to play. However, it was often miserable for him. He wore boots that added about 4 inches to his already 6'5" height. They added padding to his thighs, arms, and torso, totaling roughly 40 pounds. He contended with back pain almost every day because of the weight of the suit, and he could very rarely move well in his shoes. His head was fitted with foam latex pieces to flatten the top of his head, and then he had to spend roughly 2 hours in the makeup chair. He perspired and sweat so much under the studio lights that he lost roughly 10 pounds in 1 month, despite consuming gallons and gallons of lemonade between takes. The producers eventually rented a compressed air tank and had the nozzle go under his clothing and supply him with fresh, cool, blown air. This would help him get through the taping of the show. Well, that's it for this episode and video, guys and gals. I do appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe for more content, and hit that notification bell so that you're actually notified when I post a new video. We'll see you next time, guys and gals. Don't forget to stay positive and always better yourself. It is super important, something I try to remind myself daily. We'll see you next time, and don't forget, be hopeful.